Awareness. You gotta have awareness out here. And this is something I learned recently in my life, where you gotta be aware of a lot of things that's going on out here, man. Like situational awareness, emotional awareness, physical awareness, spiritual awareness. You gotta have awareness with friends and family. And it sounds pretty self-explanatory. It sounds pretty common or easy to grasp, but for me, I truly believe and feel that the reason some of us go through so many mistakes in life is because we don't evaluate ourselves. We don't listen to ourselves. We ignore things about ourselves that's telling us, hey, this isn't right. We ignore those things about ourselves that kind of give you an example. You know, we outside with it. It's kind of telling you it's time for a change or a shift. And the reason we are upset and hurt, or we get upset, we get hurt, we get burnt out here, is because we're ignoring all the signs that we see along the way. But what if you're not aware of the signs? What if you don't know the signs? Well, this is the part of self-evaluation that you got to have about yourself. And there is no such things as failures or mistakes. It's just lessons in life. And the way you learn these is from bumping your head. Now, what I simply mean by that is, you bump your head a lot. It's cool. But what happens is a lot of us think, oh, this happened because X, Y, Z. I went through this because of that. Or this situation didn't happen for me because of this. What I've learned is to look in the mirror, because signs around you present itself early on, to where you can sit there and ponder and think like, maybe I shouldn't engage in this. Maybe I should take a step forward with this. And I learned this from one of my friends. He told me, he was just like, yo, some things and some experiences in life, you just on the go, moving too fast. You didn't have time to think situations through and vet what's going on. Shout out my boy James. He was just like, you gotta vet situations to where having that situational awareness in every aspect of your life, it'll help you. And one of my other boys put me on to the same thing, like, yo, you gotta be aware of your surroundings. And I've been reading a few books and different things. It's so simple once you understand it and grasp it, where if you learn how to slow down in life and move at your pace, you can avoid a lot of mistakes. You can avoid a lot of bumps in the road, so to say. And what happens is, once you figure that part out, it's like the rest is easy. The rest is just too easy. Ooh, that's my shoe. And that's the part of life that I'm currently learning and realizing. It's nice weather out here today. It's kind of breezy, so you gotta kind of, bundle up just a little bit. But nah, man, situational awareness. Tell you, one of the things where I should have been aware of my surroundings was at an early age. I was able to bounce in and out of lifestyles growing up. There were some parts of my life growing up where my family had it together. There were some parts of my life where my family didn't have it together. Or we were super struggling to a point where life just didn't make any sense. So what I was chasing was a external source of pleasure where I always was looking for something outwardly to fulfill an empty void, where I would I would say it was more so like, oh man, like I'm sad, let me go eat something. Or I'm feeling down about myself, let me go hang out with these group of people. I'm feeling down, let me go do something wild and crazy to feel good. But I ain't gonna lie, that real world start hitting when you on the way home by yourself, when you chilling by yourself and realize that part of life isn't fun. So that growth, the things or the people that you miss out on is just like, it just don't feel good, because you realize and do really understand that you're beginning to miss out on some opportunities and key points in life. So it's definitely different, you know. I mean, I learned myself, this is the crazy point about evaluation. You gotta have like-minded people around you. You gotta have certain like-minded situations. Everything has to fit your life. If things is causing too much chaos and the flow isn't just easy, just different things, it's like, you can do it, but look how much work, look how much energy you have to exert in order to maneuver in these situations. And the reason you're bumping your head in these ways is simply because you haven't gained any situational awareness. You haven't gained any awareness about yourself. Now, I named a few: spiritual, financial, emotional, mental, and what was it? Physical, I believe. I don't know if I said that already, but I can give you an example with everyone. Emotional awareness. Okay, for me, there were certain places, certain groups of people, certain things I would hang around, certain things I would do to where it would get my mood bent out of shape. Be having a great day, enjoying my day, out and about, doing what I'm doing. Currently, like how I'm doing right now, just taking a walk. And then what would happen is something to knock my whole tone off. And my whole attitude, my whole perception towards a lot of things will change. Now, whose fault is it when you ask yourself that question? Theirs or yours? Self-accountability, knowing who you are as a person and accepting the fact that, hey, these mistakes, these choices, these things happen because of me not making the right moves. Okay, once you accept that, make changes. But what happens is once you begin to make those changes, some people, not all, but some, might not be too accepting of you want to make those changes. And the thing is, the reason why is because when you begin to make these changes to fix your emotions and maneuver, you're literally dialing into who you are as a person. And because it requires removing certain people from your life, maybe because they got a way of, you know what I'm saying, making your emotions fluctuate. And it's like, everybody got those certain people in their family, in their life, where the way they maneuver, the way they carry themselves, it'll never make you feel uneasy or uncomfortable. That's great. So having the emotional awareness, I'm going up this mountain, y'all. I'm getting a little winded. It's been a while since I walked up the mountain. I got away from doing a lot of the things that was very beneficial to my life and the ones around me. In order to change the people's lives around you, you got to be on flow, on track, on point. But yeah, what started to happen, I started just being aware of like, to stop placing myself in these certain areas in life that's going to cause me to lash out or be upset. Okay, cool. Financial awareness. This is a major one. Having a financial awareness is super key. And this is one I had to learn a lot. Because what happens is, I was the person growing up, hey, I got $2,000-$3,000. It's time to go blow it. But when I'm blowing it, I'm going so crazy. Yeah, everybody get something. Yeah, everybody buy something. Or we're going here leaving $200 tips. Just going crazy. And what I learned was, hey, maybe that's not the best option, Kev. Maybe that's not the smartest thing to do. But through ups and downs, when them hard points hit in life, where I started evaluating myself like, if I'd have saved some bread right here, I could have had the money to take care of the real thing that occurred. And what happens is when you have money, sometimes it's like nothing in life presents itself as I want to say like a red flag, like, oh, I got to fix it, I got to change it, I got to do this. Nothing happens. But when you don't have money, it seems like everything is just poured onto you, like all these different things. So what I learned with that is my financial awareness. I was like, yo, take a chill pill, stop and breathe. And then what you got to do, cut back your expenses. You're able to save so much money when you cut back your expenses, yo. These are my favorite pair of glasses. Just cut back your expenses. And I started learning. Cutting back the expenses, that's having the awareness. Okay, what's the awareness behind the financials? What do I like, but I don't need? What is it that I like, but I don't need it? Now, some of these wants and needs are universal. It's some universal wants and there's some universal needs, meaning no matter who you are as a person, this can be considered a want or this can be considered a need. But depending on who you are, it'll fluctuate, it'll change. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes you got to look at the outside factors that determine this. Who is your friend circle? Who is the group of people you're around? How are they influencing you with spending money? And the thing that I learned is the influence of people that I have around me. I don't really have a core group of buddies, a core group of girls that I can kick it with to where we're talking about growing a business, investing. So you got to spend some time alone and educate yourself and build yourself up, because what happens is you'll start to hear these conversations surface around you. And then that's when you place yourself in those rooms and take part in these conversations. Where do you find that at? At any job or any place. There's a lot of people who, I feel like the smarter you are, the more kept, the more quieter you are. Quiet Minds YouTube channel. But yeah, having that financial awareness is like, who am I placing myself around? Growing up, I was around a lot of guys and girls where our idea of spending was flexing. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. The only issue that I would have with it is, how you feel when you ain't got no more money? Now, building your character up, building yourself up as a person, just knowing who you are and where you should be is key. Knowing who you are as a person is key, because what happens is you'll start learning to remove these wants and needs. You will start learning to remove the things that are wants versus your needs. Okay, in my world, something that's considered a want is a fancy car. BM, Mercedes, I don't know, Rolls Royce, whatever you want to call it. Even some more pricier cars that aren't luxury. But it's not the luxury you need. You just need a car. Or better yet, you just need some form of transportation. But depending on where you are, what city, what state, country you live in, you might need this transportation. What I learned with finances is I can't afford a lot of these things. Cool. So what I did was I got me a job near where I live at. 5-10 minute drive, 1 hour walk, 30-40 minute bike ride. I figured it out. Now what that does is it alleviates means removes. It alleviates the problem of a car payment for $300, car insurance for $100 to $200, $300. So in total, I have $600 to save and play around with. Now, I've learned the jobs you work, if you can, work as many hours as possible, use your free time for a side hustle, and educate yourself on investing, on growing a business, on something on the side that will eventually take place or take form of what you're doing right now currently. This is the financial awareness I have. And one, to be aware of yourself and to be aware of your situation and where you at. Once you figure those parts out, you'll begin to understand and realize that, hey, I'm not where I need to be. So what do I need to do in order to get there? Educate yourself. And then once you educate yourself, you need money and a plan of action. When you combine the two, you can't be stopped. And that is the lesson that I learned, is how to combine the two. I learned how to combine the two. A plan of action combined with monetary and education. That is being financially aware. I don't want to go back to the old lifestyle I was living. What's the old lifestyle? This is where being aware of situations, being aware of who you are as a person will help you. My old situation, I was struggling. I slept in my car. I was homeless. And then you start realizing a lot of the people, a lot of the support systems you thought you had in place, not really there with you, not really supporting you like you think they should or you think they would. And you start realizing a lot of the stuff that influence you is not necessarily or really anything at all, because there are people in their everyday lives who could care less about what you're doing because they're trying to get to a certain standard or a certain level in their life that is easy for them or easier than where they are currently. And the thing is about this is going to flow me or segue into spiritual awareness, because what happens is, as a man or a woman, once you figure yourself out, once you figure out the direction you want to go with your life and you start seeing results, not only does your physical, meaning your mental awareness, your finances, your health, everything starts to increase, but your spiritual guidance will begin to increase. Now, what does that mean? Meaning the old environments, the old cultures, the old places that you were once around and accustomed to, you no longer can operate on those levels because you have tapped into another mental side of these things, another financial or emotional state where a lot of the people around you that was a part of that old lifestyle may not understand this no more. And because what it does is now you're placing yourself into a new world because you done figured it out. It's causing more detriment for you to stay in these old situations than to remove yourself and keep pushing forward. But here's the other side of that. When you start pushing forward and changing your life and moving for the better, what happens is, like I said, you got old habits and old friends and tendencies who's going to try to pull you back down. Okay? They're pulling you back down. Then the things that you once, the things that you have conquered as far as like what you no longer want to take part in, no longer want to do, it will begin to surface. It will begin to surface around you in your everyday. It's called a temptation. Now, for me, I understand what I'm good and what I'm not good at. What's an example? I know I like to buy things. I know I like nice shoes and clothes. So here I am, I got myself together, finances on point. And you start moving around, everything's on sale. Everything looks that much better. Or they dropped the new shoes, the new clothes, the new jewelry or something that you want. And it's like, dang, I remember this came out when I was in such and such grade, and now here it is again. Another thing, being around certain friends. Certain friends, it's fun to just hang out. It's fun to just kick it, you know what I'm saying? Do those different things. But when you realize sitting there all day, it's like, what have I accomplished? What have I gained? What have we built on? And it's cool, you know what I'm saying, here and there, just chilling. But eventually, it gets to a point where it ain't doing nothing for you. And once you get to that point, that's when that feeling starts. Feeling like you need to step up, you need to grow, you need to elevate your life. You need to elevate your life. And that's the tough part about it. That's the tough part about it. It's just, changing yourself like that is very difficult. It's very tough. And this is the thing where in a world that influences you and advertises to you 24/7, think about it. You're being advertised to. You're being marketed to 24/7. In a place or a world where you don't know who you are as a person, you're just gonna sway with the wind and go any direction possible. There's nothing wrong with that. But eventually, life is gonna smack you in the face, or it's gonna teach you something to where nothing else could have taught you that. One, because you wasn't aware of it. Two, you wasn't listening to the signs. You wasn't paying attention to the signs. But that's not for the next person or anybody else. That is simply for you to get yourself in order. To get yourself in order. So we got the emotional awareness, being aware of the situations you place yourself in. Financial awareness, being careful on how you budget and spend your money, because these different things do occur in life where, let's be honest, you're gonna need some money to take care of these situations. It's no way around it. Financial, emotional, and then the spiritual awareness. Once you realize a certain playing field you're on in life no longer benefits you, now it's causing more detriment to you because of who you're around and what environments and situations you're around. Hey, it's only a matter of time, because sometimes what happens is this voice calls to you, and it's you, yourself, knowing, hey, you don't need to be there. Hey, you shouldn't have been there. Yo, get away from that. Yo, stay away from that. What happens is life will eventually answer that call that you know what I'm saying, that you kept ignoring. So life gonna answer it for you. But when life teaches you, it teaches you in the worst way possible. Life teaches you in the worst way possible. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with life teaching you this. There's nothing wrong with life teaching you these things. I'll tell you a situation for me. I ignored a situation for so long. Where I shouldn't have been around a certain group of guys and girls. And it resulted in me getting in a lot of trouble. And what happened was, I was just there. You're not doing anything. You're just a part of the crowd. You're a part of the scene. And what happens is, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's the same thing that used to happen when I was growing up as a kid. You would be around the troublemakers, but the troublemakers never get caught. It's the one who necessarily doesn't belong there, but it's life trying to teach you a lesson, like, hey, maybe you need to get around a new group of people. But what happens is, stepping away from the pack, stepping away from the group, is like, what are they gonna say? They're gonna say everything. They're gonna judge you. They're gonna, make fun of you, all type of stuff. Especially if you're pursuing something that's benefiting your life. When it no longer benefits the people around you, that is when you know you're moving in the right direction, because now it's benefiting you. And you're gonna hear all these different things as to why you're, a piece of crap, you're selfish, it's just like, but you know how peaceful you feel. You know how stress-free you feel. You know how much weight you got off of your shoulders from getting to a position where you feel comfortable, where you feel relaxed, to where now you're not in survival mode. You're getting yourself together. And there's nothing wrong with having this awareness. You need this awareness. Paying attention to signs. And once you learn yourself, and once you have the awareness for yourself, what begins to happen is you can now, how do I explain it? You can now see things taking form and changing in life. You can see things taking shape, taking different modes in life, to where now, if you pay attention to the right signs and see what's going on around you, oh yeah, you're going to start winning. You're going to definitely start winning. You're going to definitely start stepping up in life. But it starts within here. You got to get yourself together first. I get it, man. A lot of people talk about the mindset. You know, everybody always talking about change your mindset, but it's true. And then once you change your mindset is literally those things I named, just having that awareness with physicality, your physical awareness, emotional awareness, spiritual awareness, financial awareness, just being aware of the things present in your life. Does this benefit me? Or does this hinder me? And even then, if it's not benefiting you currently, do you see something potential down the road where it can benefit you? Because now what happens is, if you can choose things for yourself, you can live with the mistakes. You can live with the lessons and the losses. Like, yeah, but living with the losses of somebody else making a decision for you, you're always going to be on the point blaming somebody. Now, this does sound like common sense. It does sound like common sense, but it took me to 27 years old to figure myself out. I'm 29 now. It took me to 27 to figure out this revolving door that I was going around. It's like, hey, it's just some lessons you ain't learned yet. That's why you keep getting the same outcome, the same result. It's time to make some changes. But you won't make that change? Okay, cool. Life gonna make the change for you. And trust me, when life makes that change for you, life gonna punch you in the mouth so crazy. Man, let me tell you, the lowest point of my life, but it was the greatest point of my life, was when I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost my car washing business, I watched my car rental service. Like, now this wasn't a super crazy millionaire type of thing. No, I had one car to wash cars in, make, $50 to $100 every day. I had two cars that I was renting out, make me another $100, $200. And it's just like, I started learning about assets, started learning about different things that could change my life. I started learning about things that could benefit me, that could grow me on a level to where I can't lose. I won't lose. So nice outside. Very nice outside. You got to get somewhere where you can quiet yourself and put a plan into place. Get somewhere where you can quiet yourself and figure this out. How can I do this? Once you figure it out, build on that foundation. And once you build on that foundation, you should start finding people around you that can add to what you're doing. It just naturally fits into place. Now, life is going to start getting better for you. Things are going to start changing for you. But that does not mean stop having, the awareness that you should be having. Every day it's an evaluation. You need to write in your journal. You need to get a journal if you don't write. And what you do is record your thoughts throughout the day. Record your thoughts every day. I don't know how to explain what it does when you write it in a book versus typing it on a phone or talking into a phone. It's just something about it. Like, you can see the way you write. It's a whole bunch of different things. But what happens is you start getting yourself together. You start getting your thought process in order. And it's like, you can go back and read these different things. And you literally teach yourself about the mistakes you made. You teach yourself about different things in life, different points in life. Like, okay, I messed up right here because of this. I messed up right here because of that. I messed up right here because I wasn't doing these steps. And I take full responsibility of a lot of the things that happened in my life. I just wasn't aware of things yet. And you got to be long-term with a lot of things. But you have to also pay attention to how some things in life, it can start off bad. It then present itself to be better later on. But that's up to you how much you can take. How much can you deal with? I knew my limits. I know my limits. I had limits. And let me tell you something. As a young person, it's nothing wrong with giving up. There's nothing wrong with quitting. There's nothing wrong with, hey, this ain't for me. I'm going to maneuver and go this way. It is okay. You don't have to be bullheaded on one thing your whole life and don't try other things. It's okay to try. You're going to fail. If you're a person out here seeking growth, you're seeking development, you're trying to move forward in life, be prepared to fall on your face. And I'm telling you, there are some feelings and experiences out here where you can't even describe the feeling, because it's a feeling that's only fit for you, because it's no way to describe it. It's no way to explain it. And these are some of the experiences I went through in my life where I'm just like, had I changed this, I could have even went further. I could have even went harder. I could have even went crazier. But I think the experiences don't stop playing in your head, because what it does, it's like a reminder every so often. Yo, make this change. Hey, don't go there. Hey, do this. And you need that. You really do need that. But yeah, this video, man, about awareness. How's your awareness? What are you doing to keep the awareness up? What are you doing to keep your awareness on point? You need that awareness in life to win. If you're just going around without using your thought process, without thinking, critical thinking, context clues, paying attention to your surroundings, you need these things, because being aware of who you are is being present with yourself. And once you're present with yourself, no matter what situation or environment you're in, it'll get challenging. It will never stop challenging you. But because you know who you are, you know what pace you need to move, how fast you need to move, and where you need to move. Come on. And that's real rap.